Are you on the hunt for the fastest pre-built PC of 2022? So are we. You may have seen my reviews on the big brands like Dell, HP, and Corsair, but another somewhat newer brand that you cannot afford to ignore is Skytech. And in this unboxing and honest first impressions video, we are proud to be taking a look into the top spec 12th gen Skytech Prism 2. We're also going to be showing off some gameplay to give you a sneak peek into how powerful this machine actually is. As you watch this video, make sure to comment below with the more specific questions you have about this machine so that I can be sure to address those in my full review coming next. And if you're publicly subscribed, not only do I guarantee a personal response, but your comment gets replied to first. Now, price-wise, this machine starts at around $2,600 for the lowest tier 12th gen model with an i5 and a 3080 GPU. But to better compare to all the other maxed out 12th gen pre-builts we've tested, this right here is the i9 model with a super powerful 3090 GPU and 32 gigabytes of 4800 megahertz of DDR5 RGB RAM. I actually got mine through Best Buy because I noticed I would get it in 8 days versus 9 to 17 days if I got it directly from Skytech. And interestingly, the Best Buy version was the only one with a 1000 watt PSU. The top spec configuration available directly through Skytech only had an 850 watt PSU. 1000 watts just future-proofs you a lot better for the next generation of GPUs, which are going to be incredibly power hungry. Although it does use a modular PSU, so it can be upgraded later. So it looks like we've got a bunch of extra cables here. And then we've got some SATA cables for expanding your storage with additional hard drives later down the road. And then a massive power cable. This is probably the thickest power cable that I've ever seen on a computer. So it looks like we got some cables for your CPU, PCIe graphics card power cables. And then in this white box, oh nice, it looks like we got a remote for our RGB. And then in this box, got your mouse. That actually looks like a pretty nice mouse. The clicks feel pretty high quality. All right, let's dig into the main piece. I might have to put this on the ground first. Or upside down, and then just let it slide out. Oh, looks like we got a keyboard. Pretty traditional membrane keyboard. Clicks feel pretty nice on pretty much all the keys. Spacebar feels a little off. Not a big deal though. So I just flipped it upside down so I can just lift the box right off of it. I don't recommend doing it this way. I just think it's gonna look a lot better on camera. Then we've got a pretty detailed manual showing the chassis overview, where your cooling is, and how to remove all the panels. And then on the back, how to install different hardware. I'd say a pretty thorough instruction manual. Then we've got some more screws and zip ties for the internals. Antenna for your Wi-Fi card. So something that fell down in the front, we've got a Skytech gaming folder that's got some quality control certificates. Passed all the inspections on June 17th, very nice. Got a maintenance guide and then a troubleshooting guide. So we've got some ventilation on the top with a little dust filter underneath. Let's go ahead and take this off and see what we got on the inside. We've got 3 Skytech branded 120mm intake fans. Really excited to see the RGB on these. Some people actually decide to remove this magnetic dust filter on the back to allow for some extra airflow coming out of the case. But honestly, with this being on the top, I prefer to keep it in there because I don't want dust to actually fall into it. When the computer's off or it's not blowing out a lot of air, dust falling into it is a possibility. On the back side, we've got a bunch more exhaust ventilation. You actually need to remove the top panel again in order to slide this side panel off. Very clean internals. You can see our massive radiator right there. And these little holes right here are going to be for mounting additional hard drives underneath this plate. What the cable management is looking like. And then you can see the back of your Z690P motherboard right there. Honestly, pretty sporadic cable management. Just kind of a mess there at the bottom. Look how much space there is between the radiator and the vents on the back panel. That's a lot of space. I'm hoping that air doesn't bounce around inside the chassis too much because of the space, and we still get a lot of straight airflow coming directly outside of the vents. But yeah, this massive 1000 watt PSU is gonna last you a really long time. And then on the back side, important, monitor connection, remove before use. Oh, I have to remove the sticker before I can access the ports? I didn't know that. So there's all our ports with some sticker residue. So we've got 2 USB-A ports. I'm assuming 3.1 since I couldn't find any documentation on this within the packaging or online. And then a PS2 port for older mice or keyboards, an HDMI port, and then beneath that 2 more USB-A ports. Not entirely sure how fast those are yet. And then down here a USB-A 3.2 port. This one's actually labeled. Next to that a USB-C port, 2 more USB-A ports, and your Ethernet port. And then beneath that are 2 connectors for our antennas. And then at the bottom our microphone and line in and line out. And then on the back of our 3090 graphics card, an HDMI 2.1 port and 3 display ports. All right, let's go ahead and turn this around and open this up. So basically it looks like we had to remove the top panel for both the side panels. That's a lot of fans. Looks really sleek though. Right off the bat, what stands out the most here is this massive 360mm all-in-one liquid cooling system that's designed to keep the CPU cool. This is honestly a necessity considering how hot the 12th gen i9 processors have been known to get. I have a feeling that when this is lit up, it's just gonna look absolutely beautiful. Plenty of room above and below for airflow. With this GPU pushing as much power as it does, I'm really glad to have such a large liquid cooling solution dedicated to the CPU. This means that most of these fans are made for the GPU. All right, let's go ahead and remove this plastic. For the front ports, we've got a power button, a reset button, an RGB button that controls the colors, an RGB button that controls the color modes, a headphone and microphone jack, a USB-C 3.1 Gen 2 port, and 2 USB-A 3.0 ports. All right, the moment of truth, let's turn her on. Oh my gosh. Wow. All right, let's go ahead and skim through this setup real quick. While surprisingly, we get Windows 10 on this machine, but then they also offer you a free upgrade to Windows 11 if you want. I actually kind of like that. Still not really a fan of Windows 11. So the main software they start you off with is the Signal RGB program. It has some RGB controls and animations, but unfortunately for me, they weren't really controlling them very consistently. There's also options for PC monitoring and cooling. This initially didn't work. I had to purchase the Pro version, which is $5 a month. To me, that's kind of crazy to have to spend $5 a month just for something that a lot of other PCs come with already. In here, you can see your percentage load on the CPU, the temperature of your CPU, which right now it looks pretty cool. The fans are at the lowest setting right now. CPU clock speed, GPU core voltage, hotspot temperature, cooling, no supported fan controllers detected. Okay, well, that's a little frustrating. So I'm probably gonna have to tweak the fans within the BIOS in order to give it the functionality to get faster or slower based on how hot the CPU and GPU temperatures are. So I looked up the motherboard, which is an ASRock motherboard, and went ahead and downloaded the software for that. One of those programs was the ASR Polychrome RGB program, and this one actually did let me tune the RGB correctly. But it is nice that we can override all that with a remote. If you're in bed and you want to turn off the RGB, but you can also control your fan speed, we've got 3 different settings. It can get pretty loud on the high setting. Brightness settings on the remote, some quick color buttons, color mode. But let's check out some of the cool effects in the actual software. So right now in the software, we've got breathing. That looks pretty cool. Off mode, that turns everything off except for the GPU. So we've got cycling. That's kind of lame. Random, just randomizes the colors. Music. Well, we don't have any music going on right now, so that's kind of irrelevant. Neon, kind of a nice little Vegas effect. Rainbow is actually kind of my favorite though. It just cycles through the colors really nice. Static, just makes everything solid. Strobe. Yeah, I'd say that just cycling through the colors is probably my favorite. Overall, this computer is built very well, and as far as design goes, this is my favorite out of all the pre-builts that I've tested. And at 360mm, that's the largest all-in-one cooling system that I've had the pleasure to check out. Now, I'm about to jump into some gameplay, but keep in mind this gameplay was done before any updates. I always do this test first because sometimes updates actually break things and make things worse. In my full review, I'm going to be giving you a much more in-depth look at overall performance and gameplay, as well as everything else that you're going to need to know before purchasing this very, very expensive computer. But if you've already made up your mind and you're going to purchase this computer before then, please make sure to use my affiliate links in the description below, as I get a small commission at no cost to you for every single purchase made. It's a major factor in keeping this channel going and getting better and better for you. Or if you just want to support this channel and help keep it growing, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking on the join button below. And I'd like to personally thank all my current members. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for helping this channel get better and better. And remember, every week I do a giveaway that randomly selects someone who's interacted with this channel in some way or filled out the form in the description. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with notifications turned on to stay up to date with that, as well as staying up to date with all of my latest gaming PCs. All right, now let's jump into the gameplay. So starting off with Call of Duty Warzone, these are all of my pretty much maxed out settings at 1440p. Let's get myself a Armaguerra 43 submachine gun. Oh yeah, gotta protect yourself with some armor. Looks like we're getting about 166 average FPS, not too shabby. And right now the temps are looking pretty good with 74 degrees on the GPU and only 64 degrees on the CPU. Let's fast forward the gameplay a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into this Jeep and check out some more areas of the map. Ooh, a package. Gotta check that out. Switch up my weapons maybe. No! I forgot to put the parking brake on. Driver's ed 101. Oh, no, 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 no. And I'm dead. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into 4K and see what happens. Fast forward a bit. Get me an STG 44. Ooh, a golden key card. I got a golden ticket.
I've got a golden ticket.
Looks like we're getting about 96 average frames per second. That's actually pretty good at 4K with these graphic settings. Wonder if I can make this jump without dying. Whoa! Oh, nice. Oh, come on. What a way to die after such a beautiful landing. Now let's go ahead and jump into Red Dead Redemption 2. These are all my graphic settings, starting with 1080p. You thought you were gonna spill some blood? What did you just say to me, kind sir? Give me that, horsey. Whoa, 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 come back. Come back. I'm nicer than your owner. Ah, no. Let's try the right side of this carriage. Oh, how about the left side? Oh. I sure do like your horsies, sir. Can I just give you a little hug? Whoops. Giddy up. Oh, snap, I'm on fire. You're on your own, horsies. I'm out. So about 149 average frames per second. That's the fastest that I've ever seen in all of my gaming PC tests. All right, so how about 1440p? Let's do some swimming, run through some meadows. 120 frames per second. That's also the fastest gaming PC that I've seen at 1440p as well, at least with this game. All right, now let's push it even harder to its max at 4K. Jump forward a bit and burst into this building like a boss. What you doing there, partner? Reading a paper?
I have something might interest you.
You had something that might interest me? Like what, a crossword puzzle? 85 frames per second average at 4K. Again, the most that I've ever seen on a pre-built gaming machine at these quality settings. I'd have to say that I'm pretty impressed so far. And the winner for this week is...
Xylonova.
Thanks for watching, guys. I love you guys. God bless.